What if I told you that the broken ceramic pot you're about to throw away could become the centerpiece of a garden that looks like it belongs in a luxury resort? By the end of this video, you'll see how I transformed a pile of literal trash, including old rubber boots, broken mirrors, and even a rusty shopping cart, into garden features that my neighbors thought cost thousands of dollars. One visitor actually asked for my landscape designer's contact information, and the best part? Every single transformation cost under $15. Welcome back to Garden Homes, where we believe that creating your dream home space shouldn't break the bank. I'm Garden Homes. And if you're anything like me, you've probably walked past a pile of discarded items and thought, there's got to be something I can do with that. Well, today, we're proving that instinct right in the most spectacular way possible. You're about to discover 25 absolutely genius ways to turn what most people consider trash into garden masterpieces that create perfect home and garden harmony. These aren't just quick fixes. These are conversation starters, property value boosters, and proof that creativity beats cash every single time. Before we dive into these incredible transformations, if you love the idea of turning your garden into a dream home space without spending a fortune, make sure to subscribe to Garden Home. We're building an amazing community of gardeners who believe that budget-friendly garden transformations are not only possible, but absolutely stunning. Hit that subscribe button and join thousands of others who are creating magazine-worthy gardens on real-world budgets. And while you're here, tell us where you're watching from in the comments below. I love seeing our Garden Homes community spread across the globe, and I try to respond to as many comments as possible. Are you watching from a tiny urban balcony, a sprawling suburban backyard, or maybe even a rural homestead? Your location doesn't matter. These hacks work everywhere. Today, I'm sharing 25 projects that range from 10-minute quick wins to weekend transformation. Each one comes with exact cost breakdowns, step-by-step guidance, and the kind of professional tips that usually cost hundreds in consultation fees. We'll cover everything from container gardens that fool people into thinking you spent a fortune at the garden center, to lighting solutions that create the ambiance of expensive landscape design, to structural elements that add serious curb appeal without the contractor bills. So grab a notebook, because you're going to want to remember these ideas. And trust me, by the time we're done, you'll never look at trash the same way again. Over the past 5 years, Garden Homes has helped thousands of gardeners discover that the most stunning outdoor spaces aren't born from expensive garden centers. They're created from imagination, resourcefulness, and knowing exactly where to look for hidden potential. We've featured everything from $5 fountain builds to complete backyard makeovers using materials that others would send to the dump. What makes today's collection special is that every single project starts with something most people would consider garbage. But here's what I've learned through years of transforming ordinary gardens into extraordinary spaces. Trash is just treasure that hasn't been recognized yet. When you start seeing discarded items through the lens of possibility rather than waste, you unlock a world of garden design that's both environmentally conscious and absolutely breathtaking. We're going to journey through 5 categories today. Container gardens that cost nothing but look like custom planters from high-end boutiques, lighting solutions that rival expensive landscape lighting installations, structural elements that add $1,000 curb appeal, water features that sound professionally installed, and decorative touches that make your garden feel like a curated art space. This is exactly the kind of content that Garden Homes is known for. Practical, budget-friendly garden transformations that prove you don't need a designer's budget to create a designer's vision. If this sounds like your kind of gardening philosophy, you're definitely in the right place. Each hack comes with a difficulty rating from 1 to 3 shovels, time investment from 15 minutes to a full weekend, and material cost estimates. I'll also share where I typically find these materials, and trust me, once you know where to look, you'll be amazed at what people throw away. Plus, I'll cover any safety considerations you need to know, because creating beauty shouldn't come at the cost of safety. Quick note on pricing. All the costs I mentioned today are estimates based on my location and may vary significantly depending on where you live. Prices can differ dramatically between countries, regions, and even local stores, so please use these as rough guidelines rather than exact figures. The important thing is that all these projects remain incredibly budget-friendly no matter where you are. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete toolkit for seeing your neighborhood differently. You'll walk past construction sites, renovation projects, and even your own trash differently. More importantly, you'll have the confidence to transform your garden into something that reflects your personality without reflecting your bank account. The secret to successful upcycling isn't just creativity, It's knowing which materials weather well outdoors, how to prepare surfaces for longevity, and how to integrate these pieces so they look intentional rather than random. Today, I'm sharing all of those professional secrets that took me years to learn. Project 1, Rubber Boot Herb Garden. Picture this, a row of colorful rubber boots lined up along your garden fence, each one bursting with fresh herbs that cascade over the sides like living waterfalls. I discovered this technique when my daughter outgrew her rain boots, and I was about to donate them when inspiration struck. The key is drilling 3 drainage holes in each sole using a 1/4-inch bit. Add a layer of small stones or gravel, then quality potting soil. Plant with trailing herbs like thyme, oregano, or even cherry tomatoes for boots with higher sides. The weathered, lived-in look of used boots actually adds charm that new planters can't replicate. Cost breakdown: $0 for boots if you ask neighbors or check thrift stores. $12 for soil and plants. Total investment $12 for a conversation piece that would cost $60 retail. Project 2, Colander Hanging Gardens. Transform old metal colanders into stunning hanging planters that look like they came from an upscale garden boutique. The built-in drainage is absolutely perfect for succulents and trailing plants like string of pearls or burro's tail. Here's the professional trick. Suspend them at varying heights using different length chains to create a cascading effect that adds vertical interest to any space. I use 3 colanders at heights of 4, 6, and 8 feet to create this sophisticated layered look. Investment: $0 for colanders from your kitchen or garage sales, $3 for chain per planter, $8 for plants. That's $11 per planter for something that retails for $45 in garden center. Pro tip: group in odd numbers for visual impact that interior designers charge hundreds to plant. This is one of my absolute favorite transformations because it takes a gardening disaster and turns it into garden art. Use the broken pieces to create patterns on plain pots, or embed them into concrete for a completely custom look. I start by arranging pieces on paper to plan my design, then use outdoor construction adhesive to attach them, grout with weatherproof grout, and seal with outdoor sealer. This technique gives you the high-end mosaic planter aesthetic that retails for over $100 in garden center. Materials needed: broken ceramics for free, outdoor adhesive for $5, grout for $7. The imperfect, artistic finish actually looks more expensive than machine-made alternative. Project 4, Tire Planter Towers. Stack old tires to create dramatic planter towers that add height and structure to flat garden spaces. I paint mine in sophisticated colors like charcoal, sage green, or classic black, for a modern sculptural look that works in contemporary landscape. Fill with trailing plants for a living tower effect, or create a herb spiral using this stacking method. The key is securing each tier with construction adhesive and drilling drainage holes every 6 inches around the bottom tier. Cost breakdown: $0 for tires. Tire shops often pay you to take them because disposal is expensive. $15 for exterior paint that bonds to rubber. These towers solve multiple design problems while recycling materials that would otherwise harm the environment. Project 5, Tin Can Vertical Gardens. Transform large coffee cans and food containers into a living wall system that rivals expensive vertical garden installations. Mount them on a wooden pallet or fence to create an organized grid that looks intentionally designed. This system is perfect for small space gardening and creates the kind of vertical interest that landscape architects incorporate into million-dollar designs. I use a drill to create drainage holes and paint with primer designed for metal surfaces before adding color. Total investment: $0 for cans, $12 for mounting hardware, $20 for plants. The industrial chic aesthetic is completely on trend and maximizes growing space and minimal square footage. Lighting in ambience solutions. Now let's create magical evening spaces that transform your garden into an enchanted retreat. Project 6, Mason Jar Solar Lights. Create magical evening ambiance using discarded mason jars and inexpensive solar light inserts. I hang them from tree branches or shepherd's hooks to cast dancing patterns through the glass as evening breezes move them gently. The vintage charm of old jars combined with modern solar technology gives you the romance of expensive landscape lighting without the electrical work or ongoing energy costs. Simply drop in solar light inserts designed for wide-mouth jar. Materials: $0 for jars from canning or storage, $3 per solar insert, $2 for hanging wire. This project multiplies your evening garden enjoyment while staying completely budget-friendly. Project 7, Bottle Cap Luminaries. Collect metal bottle caps to create stunning punched tin-style luminaries that cast intricate shadow patterns across your garden paths and seating areas. Mount them on large tin cans or create standalone lanterns that look like artisan metalwork. The secret is creating purposeful patterns that cast beautiful shadows, Think geometric designs, constellation patterns, or nature motifs like leaves and flowers. When lit with battery-operated LED strings, these create sophisticated ambiance rivaling custom metalwork. Investment: $0 for caps and cans, $8 for LED lights, $3 for metal punch tools. The handcrafted look adds personality that mass-produced lighting cannot replicate. Project 8. Mirror fragment reflectors. Broken mirrors become magical light multipliers when strategically placed to catch and reflect existing light sources. Create mosaic stepping stones, accent walls, or hidden surprises that make your garden feel larger and bright. The key is thoughtful placement. Position pieces to catch morning sun, existing fixtures, or moonlight. This technique is used in high-end landscape design to create depth and drama. I always sand sharp edges, smooth for safety. Costs: $0 for broken mirrors. Check with glass shops for discards. $5 for outdoor adhesive. This professional technique transforms ordinary spaces into extraordinary experience. Structural and architectural elements. These projects create the backbone of great garden design, the structure that makes everything else look intentional. Project 9. Shopping cart trellis system. Abandoned shopping carts become instant architectural elements when repurposed as trellises for climbing plants. The existing grid structure is absolutely perfect for training vines, and the mobility allows you to rearrange your garden layout seasonally. Plant with fast-growing climbers like morning glories, beans, or clemate for quick coverage that softens the industrial lines. This unexpected repurposing creates talking point garden art while providing practical growing space for vertical gardening. Cost: $0 for cart with permission from store managers, $15 for plants and soil. The result challenges assumptions about what garden infrastructure should look like while solving real growing space problems. Project 10. Pallet privacy screens. Wooden shipping pallets create sophisticated privacy screens and vertical garden surfaces when properly treated and positioned. I sand them smooth and apply weather-resistant stain for a custom fence look, or leave them natural for rustic charm. Add hooks, shelves, or planting pockets to maximize functionality. These screens define spaces within your garden and create intimate seating areas that feel professionally designed. The modular nature allows you to adjust your garden layout as needs change. Investment: $0 for pallets from behind stores with permission, $20 for treatment and mounting hardware. This creates expensive-looking privacy solutions at a fraction of traditional fencing costs. Water feature magic. Water features add luxury and tranquility to any garden space, and these versions prove you don't need a landscape contractor's budget. Project 11. Bucket fountain systems. Large plastic buckets become elegant water features when combined with small pumps and creative disguising technique. I sink them into the ground or disguise with rocks and plants for a natural spring effect that sounds like expensive fountain installations. The sound of moving water creates the same peaceful ambiance as $1,000 water features. Add aquatic plants and decorative stones to complete the natural look that integrates seamlessly into existing landscaping. Cost breakdown: $0 for bucket, $25 for small pump, $15 for decorative element. This project brings the luxury resort feeling to any garden space for under $50 total. Project 12. Broken pot water gardens. Transform large broken ceramic pots into stunning water garden features by embracing the crack as a design element. The broken section becomes a natural spillway for a miniature waterfall effect that sounds magical in evening gardens. Line with pond liner, add aquatic plants and position stones to create a naturalistic water feature that looks like it evolved over time. This technique turns a gardening disaster into a garden masterpiece. Materials: $0 for broken pot, $15 for liner, $20 for pump and plants. The organic weathered look adds instant garden maturity that takes established gardens years to develop naturally. Decorative finishing touches. These final projects add the artistic details that transform good gardens into memorable ones. Project 13. Broken china garden mosaics. Transform broken dishes and china into stunning mosaic stepping stones that add color and pattern to your landscape paths. The key is planning your design before adhering pieces. Create flowing patterns that guide the eye through your garden space. This technique adds the sophisticated detail of custom tile work while recycling materials with sentimental value. Family dishes become permanent garden memories that tell your story. Costs: $0 for broken china, $8 for adhesive, $12 for grout. The personal history embedded in family pieces makes each stepping stone uniquely meaningful. Project 14, Silverware Garden Sculptures. Bend and arrange old silverware into whimsical garden sculptures that catch light and add movement to plant beds. Create flowers, butterflies, or abstract forms that complement your planting scheme while adding year-round interest. The metal weathers beautifully and provides structure even when plants are dormant. This type of unexpected garden art creates talking points and shows creative problem solving that consistently impresses visitors. Investment: $0 for old silverware, $5 for mounting material. The handcrafted look adds personality and artistry that mass-produced garden decor simply cannot replicate. Project 15, Bottle Bottom Border Lights. Cut the bottoms from colored glass bottles to create stunning border lighting that looks like expensive landscape fixture. Invert them over small solar lights or LED stakes for magical colored illumination that defines pathways and garden beds beautifully. The glass creates gorgeous color patterns while providing functional lighting for evening garden enjoyment. This technique combines environmental responsibility with sophisticated lighting design that guides guests safely through your garden. Materials: $0 for bottles from restaurants or recycling centers, $15 for solar lights, $5 for proper glass cutting tool. The artistic effect rivals custom glass lighting installations costing hundreds of dollars. Project 16, CD/DVD Garden Reflectors. Hang scratched CDs and DVDs to create moving light displays that deter pests, while adding sparkle to your garden. The prismatic effect creates rainbow patterns that dance through your plants as they move in the breeze, creating constantly changing light shows. Position them strategically to catch morning or evening light for maximum impact. This dual-purpose solution solves practical bird and pest problems while creating beauty that changes throughout the day. Materials: $0 for old discs, $3 for hanging materials. The high-tech gleam contrasts beautifully with natural plantings for contemporary gardens. Project 17, Ladder Plant Stands. Old wooden ladders become stunning tiered plant displays that add vertical interest and create the layered look of professional garden design. Position them against walls, fences, or as freestanding features in garden bed. The varying heights showcase plants at different levels, creating depth and visual complexity that mimics expensive custom plant stands. This technique maximizes growing space while adding architectural interest. Costs $0 to $15 for ladder from garage sales, $25 for plants and pots. The rustic charm adds character that money simply cannot buy. Project 18, Window Frame Garden Art. Salvaged window frames become instant garden architecture when hung on fences, walls, or positioned as freestanding features. Add mirrors, climbing plants, or seasonal decorations to create focal points that change throughout the year. The weathered wood and glass create depth and reflect light, making gardens feel larger and more established. This technique creates borrowed scenery effects used in high-end garden design. Materials: $0 to $20 for windows from demolition sites, $10 for mounting hardware and decorations. Project 19, Concrete Block Raised Beds. Discarded concrete blocks create sophisticated raised bed systems that look like custom masonry. Stack them without mortar for adjustable configurations, or secure them for permanent installations. The thermal mass helps regulate soil temperature, and the modular nature allows garden expansion over time. This approach gives you clean hardscaping lines at a fraction of professional cost. Investment: $0 to $2 per block from construction sites, $30 for soil to fill. The modern geometric aesthetic works in any garden style. Project 20, Rain Chain Alternatives. Create stunning rain chains from discarded materials like old spoons, bottle caps, or small containers. These guide rainwater from gutters to collection areas, while creating beautiful sounds during storm. Choose materials that create pleasing sounds when water passes through them. This functional art replaces expensive copper rain chains, while adding personality to your home's exterior. Costs $0 for materials from kitchen discards, $5 for chain, $10 for mounting hardware. The custom design reflects your personal style. Project 21, Bathtub Pond Conversion. Old bathtubs make surprisingly elegant garden ponds when properly installed and disguised. The existing drain simplifies water changes, and the size accommodates water plants and small fish. Surround with natural stones and plantings to integrate seamlessly into garden design. This creates substantial water features that would cost thousands professionally installed. Investment: $0 to $50 for tub from renovations, $40 for pump infiltration, $30 for plants and fish. Project 22, driftwood branch sculptures. Collect interesting pieces of wood to create natural sculptures that provide structure and focal points in garden beds. The organic forms complement plantings while adding height and winter interest. Arrange pieces to create compositions that appear to have grown in place. This brings sophisticated naturalism of Japanese garden design to any space. Costs $0 for collected wood, $10 for mounting hardware if needed. The weathered textures create instant garden maturity. Project 23, Chandelier Garden Feature. Old chandeliers become stunning outdoor focal points when weatherproofed and hung from sturdy tree branches. Remove electrical components and add battery-operated string lights for safety. The crystal or glass elements catch natural light during the day and create magical reflections. This single element transforms ordinary garden corners into fairy tale setting. Cost varies. Thrift stores $10 to $25, garage sales $5 to $15, or free from renovation discard. Project 24, Glowstone Pathways. Transform broken concrete pieces into magical pathway markers using glow-in-the-dark paint that charges during the day and illuminates at night. This creates expensive embedded pathway lighting effects without electrical work. The organic shapes look more natural than manufactured pavers, and the soft glow guides visitors safely through evening gardens. Materials: free concrete pieces, $12 for glow paint, $5 for sealer. The ethereal effect rivals professionally installed systems. Project 25, Tire Pond Systems. Large tires become instant pond basins when lined with pond liner and strategically placed in your garden. The rubber provides excellent insulation and classic pond proportions. Stack multiple tires for deeper features, or use singles for raised effects. Disguise with stone, wood, or plantings for completely natural appearance. Material: $0 for tire, $20 for liner, $25 for pump and plants. This creates substantial water features that enhance property values significantly. Now that we've covered all 25 incredible transformations, I have to ask, tell me in the comments which of these projects you're planning to try first. Are you drawn to those dramatic water features that add such peaceful sounds to garden spaces? Or are you excited about those container transformations that give you instant gardening success? I love hearing from our Garden Homes community about which ideas spark your creativity, and I honestly try to respond to every comment with additional tips or troubleshooting advice. Your questions often inspire our next videos, so please don't be shy about sharing your thoughts. And if you're loving these budget-friendly garden transformations and want to see more projects that prove you don't need a massive budget to create a dream home space, make sure to subscribe to Garden Homes. We release new videos every single week with practical, affordable solutions for creating outdoor spaces that reflect your personality and enhance your home's beauty. I also want to encourage you to share your results when you complete any of these projects. There's nothing I love more than seeing how our community takes these ideas and makes them their own. Every transformation is unique because every gardener brings their own creativity and personal style to the process. Your success stories inspire other gardeners to take that first step toward their own garden transformation journey. When you start seeing potential instead of problems, possibility instead of trash, you unlock a whole new approach to creating beautiful outdoor spaces. This is what home and garden harmony really means: working with what you have, respecting your budget, and proving that creativity and resourcefulness create more stunning results than simply spending money ever could. This is exactly why Garden Homes exists, to show that every single gardener, regardless of budget constraints, can create outdoor spaces that bring joy, beauty, and genuine pride. These 25 projects represent more than just clever recycling. They represent a philosophy that values imagination over expense, sustainability over consumption, and personal expression over blindly following trends. When you choose to transform trash into treasure, you're not just improving your garden, you're proving that thoughtful creativity beats unlimited budgets every single time. If these transformations have inspired you to see your own garden and neighborhood differently, then you absolutely need to subscribe to Garden Homes right now. Join our amazing community of gardeners who believe that budget-friendly garden transformations are not just possible, but absolutely spectacular. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our weekly dose of affordable garden inspiration that helps you create the outdoor space of your dreams. And before you go, I want to hear from you. Tell me, which project surprised you the most? What trash do you have around your home that you're now seeing differently? Do you have any creative transformations you've tried that our Garden Homes community should know about? Have you tackled any upcycling projects that turned out even better than you expected? Remember, all the pricing I mentioned today are estimates that can vary significantly based on your location, The key is that these projects remain incredibly affordable no matter where you are in the world. I read every single comment and absolutely love connecting with gardeners from around the world. Your questions often inspire our next videos, and your success stories motivate other community members to start their own garden transformation. Whether you're working with a tiny balcony or a sprawling backyard, there's a place for you in our community. Thanks for being part of the Garden Homes family. And remember, the most beautiful gardens aren't the most expensive ones. They're the ones filled with creativity, personality, and love. Now go out there and create something absolutely beautiful with what you already have. I can't wait to see what you create.